If you ever wanted to know how to write your own training plan for the gym, then today's video is going to give you all the advice you need. Hey everybody, it's Farhad here from Fit with Farhad, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to write your own training plan. And if you're new to the channel, I just want to say thank you for checking me out. This channel is all about helping you get fit and healthy with scientific based advice to help you get an athletic physique, help you get more confidence and just kick ass in life. So make sure you click that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single video. Now let's crack on with today's topic. So first of all, let's talk about what a training plan is and why you need one. Now, you've all heard that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's pretty true with fitness as well. In other words, you go to the gym and you see all the equipment there. What do? Do you just go to whatever's free? That's what most people do. But the people who actually get results stick to a plan. And the reason a plan is so important is because number one, it gives you focus. Number two, it gives you some sort of accountability. You can see whether or not you are doing what you need to do, and you can see whether or not you're making any progress by keeping a track of the amount of weight you're lifting and the amount of effort you're putting in and the results you're getting. Number three, it's going to keep you motivated as well because you know what you're going to do when you get to the gym. You don't have this brain fog. You don't feel like, oh, what am I going to do today when I get to the gym? You know what you're going to do and you're going to get on with it. Unless you've got one of those gym bros who's hogging all the equipment. And lastly, it's going to give you that time-saving ability because you're not going to be wandering around trying to find a piece of equipment or trying to work out what you're going to be doing. You're going to know exactly what you're doing. You're going to go, you're going to get your work done and you're going to get out because nobody really wants to spend too much time in the gym, don't they? I mean, I love the gym, but seriously, I've got better things to do with my life. Now, before we even get started on how to write a training plan, the first thing you're going to need to know is what you want to achieve. In other words, you're going to need to have a goal or a target. Your goal will determine your training plan and all the training variables that we're going to talk about today in today's video. So for example, if your goal is to lose body fat, it's going to be significantly different from a training plan that's going to be focused on gaining strength or muscle tissue. And there are going to be other factors that come into play, such as the time you have when you do get to the gym, how many days you can train, and what your recovery is like. Remember, this is really important. Even if you've got the time to train every day for 1-2 hours at a time, your recovery might be in a place where you should only be training 2 to 3 times a week. And we'll get to talking about your recovery and how to assess your recovery in a future video. So now you've got your goal in place, you know exactly how much time you've got to spend in the gym, you've got the days you're going in, so you now can break your workout into different days. So for example, you can have a upper body day, a lower body day. You could do bro splits such as chest and back one day, legs and shoulders another day. Those are called bro splits. Or you can do push-pull leg days. Whichever ones you want to do, just make sure you have an idea of what type of training you're going to go on day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. And again, if you want me to cover what those all mean in a future video, please leave a comment below and I'll explain what bro splits are, what push-pull leg days are, what upper body splits are, lower body days, etc. are. So like I said, just drop me a comment below and I'm more than happy to elaborate on that for you. Okay, now you've got the idea of what days you're going into the gym. The next thing you're going to want to know is what exercise you're going to do when you get there. This is known as exercise selection and how you're going to put the exercises in order depending on your goal and how much time you have. So for example, if your goal is fat loss, and you haven't got too much time to spend in the gym, you might want to start doing things like supersets or trisets where you put exercises back to back or 3 exercises in a cluster back to back. So you can go from one exercise to another, then to another, not only saving you time, but you're keeping the rest minimum so that you create more output and energy expenditure so that you burn more fat in the gym. Or if you're trying to gain strength, you might then do something like a 5x5 workout so you have more rest, less exercise selection on that day and more heavy lifts. So when it comes to what exercises you want to choose, what I tend to do is I'll look at somebody's goals, I'll look at where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. So for example, if somebody wants to accentuate the shoulders, then I'll put more shoulder exercise in there. If I've seen somebody who's got poor posture, I'll do some exercises in their training plan where it helps strengthen their muscles so that their posture improves as well. If they're looking like they've got weakness in certain areas, I'll add exercise that will strengthen those areas. So another thing I look for is whether a person or client has got differences in their muscles. So for example, if I take their right hand and their left hand, and if I do a test on them to see the range of motion of the right hand compared to the range of motion of the left hand, or I look at the strength between the right hand and the left hand, I can then determine whether I need to do some work unilaterally, which is one hand at a time, or whether they can do a bilateral exercise, which is both hands at a time. For example, if they've got one hand that is weaker than the other in a lat pull down, then I'm not going to make them do a two-handed lat pull down. I'll make them do single-handed lat pull down in a way that will increase the strength in the weaker side and then balance things out before we then go onto a two-handed lat pull down. Generally what you want to do is you want to obviously start off with a warm-up or some sort of mobility drills, and then what I would generally tend to do is from the first exercise I put in for a client, it will be something to prep them for the main lift. The main lift, or some people call it the predictor lift, could be something like a big compound exercise like a squat, a leg press, a bench press, or a shoulder press, or a deadlift, or a rack pull. And then you can put all the other exercises around that. So for example, your biggest lift is going to be maybe the second or third lift in the exercise selection after you've warmed up the muscles to go into that exercise. And you can get really complicated, and you can do exercises to sort of accentuate certain muscle groups from working than others. For example, if you want to really focus on the glutes when you do a Romanian deadlift, you could do hamstring curls beforehand to really fatigue those hamstrings so the glutes get more of a workout. And next thing you want to do once you've got your exercise selection is we're going to work out how many exercises you're going to do. Again, this is going to be dependent on your goal and the amount of time you have in the gym. But generally you want to put together enough exercise that you do about 20 to 25 sets in total. So it could be 5 exercises or 6 or maybe even 7 exercises, but you don't want to do too much and you really don't want to do too little either. There's got to be a happy medium, but 20 to 25 sets is usually a good place to go when you're starting out or when you're putting a plan together. And then you're going to want to work out how many sets and reps you're going to do per exercise. Generally most people go for 3 sets of 10. It all depends again on your goal. It depends on what your ability is, what your training ability is, how long you've been training in the gym, what your technical ability is as well. So if someone's starting out, I would go maybe, for example, higher rep range, go for volume, 2 to 3 sets, maybe 12 to 15 reps, lower weight just to get their body used to the movements. As you get more advanced, we can then change things up, maybe split things up, like for example 12, 10, 8 reps, and make the 8th rep a little bit heavier and harder. But it all depends on your goal again. And speaking of goals, if you're going to do something like strength training, you're going to want less reps, more sets, more rest. If you're training for hypertrophy, you want to go in the middle ground, so you want a medium amount of sets, medium amount of reps with a medium amount of rest. And if you're going for fat loss or endurance, you're going to want to go high reps, but you want less rest as well. So you can see how the goals that you have will play a huge role in how you create your workout plan. The next thing you're going to want to do is understand the tempo for each exercise. The tempo is the speed in which you do the movement, and it's usually broken down into 4 numbers. And you'll see this on a training program sometimes as 3010, for example. So the first number is the eccentric portion of your lift. So for example, if I was to do a bicep curl, this would be the lowering of my hand. Then you have the next number, which is the isometric hold at the fully lengthened position of that rep. And then you'll have the concentric portion, which is flexing the muscle. And then the last number is how long you hold that flex for. Again, another isometric hold. So for example, the bicep curl, the first number would be your eccentric. So this would be lengthening the muscle here. The second number would be the isometric, how long you hold this position for. The third number would be the concentric, which is flexing that muscle, and the last number is how long you hold that concentric in an isometric for. So for example, if I did a 3010 on a bicep curl, it'd be 1, 2, 3, no break here, 1 second, and straight away 1, 2, 3. And the last thing you want is the rest periods between the exercises. So usually the amount of time you spend doing the actual exercise will dictate how much rest you have. So for example, if your rep range in your set is a 60-second set, then you want about 60 to 90 seconds rest. And if you're going heavier, you're going to want more rest because you want your body to recover energy. And if you want to go for endurance, you want less rest. And then once you have all this written down, you can then track it, you can be more focused, and you can understand now how to put together that plan. So there you have it, a really quick video today on how you can write your own workout plan. If you have any questions about today's video, please again drop me a comment below. More than happy to answer it. I just kept this as a really quick overview for you, so we didn't get into too much detail. But if you do want me to make a more detailed video and maybe even go through a live session where I actually write a training plan for someone, then I'm more than happy to do that for you so you can see how I go ahead and do this. So I hope you got some value from today's video as always, and if you did, please leave it a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in a comment below, and for more training advice, you can check out the playlist that's popping up on screen right now. So I look forward to catching you in the next video. Until next time, sweat more, suck less, stay awesome, and take care.